I am so glad that the missing camper got rescued because he just caused the yellow team to win.
Someone in the comments was like, young John Legend over here. I was like, oh my gosh, it is. Who is that
Don't tell
girl?
anyone. Today wasn't the worst. We got the win.
Yeah, we did. I'm not
What's wrong?
sure exactly what changed.
Maybe he just wants to show you he cares.
We've had good days before, and I just don't want to let my guard down and get hurt again, you know?
Ricky's like, I understand
Blue,
that more ways than
Can
one.
we do the Wildcat cheer, please?
Listen, Carla, I'm grateful that those days are in the past. You understand?
Corbin.
Hey, if it helps, I'm happy to do the Wildcat cheer night or day.
Team Wildcats.
Okay, keep going.
There's room for one more.
I think she means you, dude.
Could be either of us, though.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go.
EJ, will you be my date to the camp prom?
Wait, that's what this
Can
is?
you be my date?
I really wish I could, but there's a rule. No dates allowed to the prom.
Oh. Well, that is very progressive, of course.
Out of the way till the fireworks go off. I have a few minutes before I have to get back to work. Any minute now.
I'm sick of it!
I'm so
Stop
sorry.
breaking my
I don't know why I
freaking
keep
heart!
snapping
Just
at you.
break them up already!
I don't snap at anyone. I only tip 20%, and I didn't learn the Hebrew for my Torah portion at my bat mitzvah. Why on earth would I snap at you? Oh,
Oh, Ashlyn.
That's why.
That was so cute. Oh, is Ricky crying now? What the hell? This is so sad.
My dad got me a moon rock. So I could walk on the moon before my 18th birthday.
That's cool.
I may actually make it through my bucket list. Can't believe I let Color War slip through my fingers.
You mean Gina? You've been pretty decent all summer.
Thank you. You're a nightmare.
My sister and Madison broke up at this dance last year. I always felt it was my fault. Okay, what is that face?
You just gave me a big idea.
What? I don't want sad Ricky. I don't want sad EJ and Gina. I want happy Ashlyn. All right, so there you have it. Episode 6, Color War. It was a really, really fun, exciting episode. I absolutely loved the dance routine and the song with Corbin and Gina. That was super cute. For a split second, I'm thinking she's gonna get hit in the head and she's gonna like forget about EJ or something. But no, it's just for song purposes. Let's try to quickly recap because this was a longer episode and we all know that Jesse likes to rant a lot and I usually talk for like a half an hour. So we have Carlos slapping Gina, which is pretty exciting to see, ironically, since I love Gina and she's my favorite. Jet really trying hard. Really, really trying hard. And it kind of gets through to Maddox, but as Maddox says to Ricky, I don't want to let my guard down. I've been hurt before. And that's natural. You get close to feeling like that again, you're going to pull back because you remember how you were hurt. I think it was really good that Jet did what he did. You're only going to be able to convince them that you're a changed person if you keep doing things like that and prove it and show it. This was very important. In the last episode, we find out that Jet outed Maddox. A lot of people were like, if Jet outed her, that's unforgivable. I 100% agree, but I thought that there was more to the story. I figured that they wouldn't paint him in that kind of a picture because with all of the stuff that he has been doing that's been super frustrating, that would have just been adding fuel to the fire. So we find out that he didn't know Madison, whatever that she had them under in her phone. He didn't realize that when he found the text messages, it was a girl. He thought it was a boy, and so he was like, why can't I date and she can? He outed her without actually knowing what he was doing. And it makes it a lot more understandable because he didn't know. He didn't know. We're not going to go into details because we don't know the details. What we know is that he didn't know, and that was that. So I don't hold that against him. It's just stupid sibling rivalry. I think that they're going to be in a good place by the end of the season. I think it's definitely going to be able to get there. The scene with Courtney trying to climb the rock could have been more well done. Somebody in the comments had mentioned that I love that they're giving Courtney this arc, but I feel like they're not explaining it enough or showing it enough in detail, and I kind of get what they're saying. So I rewatched, as I've stated, the seasons 1 and 2 like a week or so ago, and they do give examples. In the first season, Courtney is really shy to even audition, right? Miss Jen's like, you're so good, and she's like, so unconfident. In season 2, when she's Mrs. Potts, she does the same thing. She's all in her head. She's nervous about singing Tale as Old as Time. So they do show like subtle little hints to this, but it's not ever emphasized enough to where it seems like it's a big problem. I think they're trying to show this strong, independent, wonderful person who is always so supportive of her friends, who does all these amazing things and accomplishes all these amazing things. Even she has anxiety, even she's freaking out inside. I don't know if that was necessarily their objective, but that's the way it appears to me. But when that person made that comment, it made me look at things in a different way. It was interesting because I'm like, they're kind of right. They keep throwing these like little things in and then just forgetting about it in other areas. Like, she's about to climb the rock wall. She's kind of freaking out in her head, and Gina gets the flag and everything, and then everyone starts cheering like, Courtney, 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 and then they have this beautiful moment with her and Miss Jen saying, I'm just not ready. And she's like, when you're ready, you are. You'll know. And they hug, and I think it's really sweet. And Val kind of sees that. So Val being into psychiatry and wanting to do that line of profession, I think it was really important for her to see that moment with Miss Jen and Courtney, because it showed her that you don't always have to cheer them on and say, yeah, you can do it. Go, go, go. It's okay to say no. It's also okay to say, I'm not ready right now. And I think that was almost like more of a learning lesson for Val than it was for Courtney, ironically, even though Val was in the background, didn't even say anything. So I do wish that there was a little more, maybe like a conversation later with Courtney in regards to what happened. Maybe they'll do that in the next episode. But it is getting a little shaky with where that storyline is going. It does now kind of feel like they just threw in like, she has anxiety, and it shouldn't be dealt with like that. It's a very serious thing. Ashlyn, my beautiful love. Ashlyn has seen fireworks, and she's felt fireworks, and it happened when Val was hugging her. And I just love that Val had that reaction. She is getting it. You know, I think at first, I don't think she was really picking up on what Ashlyn was putting down, because I don't think Ashlyn knew what she was putting down. And now that it's kind of becoming more clear, it finally clicked for both of them. And I love that Val's response is to just hug her. Just hug her and embrace that moment of figuring out something new about yourself and making it known that that's okay. This is different. This is new. It feels strange because it's different, but it's okay. And so I love that. I love this moment. I think it's so beautiful. So I think our next issue is going to probably be Ashlyn freaking out over the fact that she doesn't know how to tell Biggie, or she's not going to know what to say. And I'm curious to see, like, I know that we don't see Seb, Howie, Mr. Mazzara, or Big Red, but are we gonna get maybe a conversation with them? Are we gonna get like a really, I loved the scene, Jay and I were actually talking about this because he said it was one of his favorite songs, the scene where they're all on spring break and they do but you'll never see it coming, and they do the Zoom call where they all kind of cut together the scenes. Could we get something like that maybe? Like, are we gonna get something like that? I don't know. But I think that's where that story arc is going with Ashlyn, and I love it. I just think this whole buildup of her story, that's the way you should do it. That's the way that I kind of want it done with Courtney. Like, little things thrown in, but an actual evolution of what is progressing, and I don't see that in her story. So I hope it gets better, but I love what they're doing with Ashlyn. Val, I still wish that we were getting more out of her character. It is episode 6. We only have 2 episodes left. I truly thought that she was going to be a bigger part of this. Like, she's there when she's needed. Val is in scenes when she's needed. Val has had bigger parts and bigger scenes in different episodes. Someone else said this in comments too. I feel like we don't know anything about her character. Like, the only thing that we know is that she goes to Camp Shallow Lake. She's one of EJ's old friends from here. She's very into musical theater, and she wants to be a psychiatrist. I just think to have an actor like Meg Donnelly and not utilize her to the fullest extent doesn't make sense to me. I absolutely love the Zombies trilogy. I am obsessed with the Zombies trilogy. Her voice is so good. And yes, she did sing in this, but she didn't sing that much. I would really like to see or hear a song with either just her or a duet with someone maybe. I really want to hear her voice, but maybe that's just me and I'm biased. We had Miss Jen come. That'll segue us into our lovely trio of chaos. We had Miss Jen show up and give EJ some pointers. They end up having everybody come in and see her. I love the fact that we saw Miss Jen. I love the fact that she came in. She gave EJ pointers. We see this whole scene of him trying to mimic her and her teaching him all these things. It's just awesome. I love it. It's hysterical. She gives Ricky the moon rock from his father so he can check off another thing on his bucket list. It's adorable. It's a sweet moment. I love having her there. With that said, I get really frustrated. This is kind of the perfect example of what I was saying prior to this. When I was saying, like, every single episode, there's a problem for Portwell. Not necessarily a fight or destruction, but there is a problem, and it's frustrating. This episode's problem is that we have a really sweet conversation with EJ and Gina. Gina says, let's just have fun for today. I just want to have fun today. I want to be together today. Let's just do that color war. And he's like, yeah, I'm totally on board. And he's trying to explain to her, if I have a perfect play, that means that my father will think I'm perfect. That means that I won't have to leave. That means I could stay with you. Like, a perfect play equals a perfect us. So she kind of starts to understand where his head is at. She doesn't necessarily agree with it, but she understands, like, okay, that's why you've been doing this and that's why you've been doing that. But who cares? At the end of the day, I just want to be with you. And they're both like, okay, we get that. And then it's like everything just went out of his head. Like, everything that was just said went completely out the window. He gets totally distracted by Miss Jen. He spends the entire first half of the color war with Miss Jen, completely misses Gina's basketball throw and everything, and then leaves her alone with Ricky. Like, again, they keep talking. You just had a conversation with her about how the only thing that she wants is to be with you today. And then you not only are MIA for the first half of everything, but you were gonna hide Miss Jen. So my thing is, if you were gonna hide Miss Jen and not show everybody else that she was there, what were you gonna tell Gina? I had more work to do on the play, even though we just had a conversation about not working on the play today and being together. I said okay, and then I ignored what you said and did it anyway. Like, what was your excuse gonna be? That's where my frustration comes in. I have total faith in the writers. I love them, and I always enjoy the story, but they're taking a character that I love, that I think is smarter than that, and having him make really foolish decisions. Even though in seasons 1 and 2, Ricky, for me, was super frustrating, made crazy decisions, made erratic, spontaneous decisions that didn't always make sense. I was like, well, he's a teenager, and these are his first relationships. He's not really, he's just all over the place. He's just, he's not thinking straight or whatever. With EJ, I'm sorry, but EJ's older than Ricky. He's more experienced. We've had multiple conversations about what is happening. With Ricky, we didn't have those conversations. He didn't have any of those conversations yet, at least. With EJ and Gina, we've had multiple conversations now of them being like, oh, what's going on? Oh, this is what I want from you. And he's not listening to her. He just keeps saying, like, yeah, I totally get what you're saying, and then goes and does whatever he wants. And that's not EJ to me. I don't see that in his character, and we've never seen that before. We've seen, like, a little bit of crazy EJ in season 1, and then season 2 was like, upfront, totally honest, 100% EJ. And we had him at the end of season 1 buy the ticket for Gina. We have him doing all these little sweet things. One of my favorite Portwell moments was at Carlos's quinceañero, and he's doing the video diary. And he asks Gina, "How are you doing? Are you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, blah, blah, blah." And she goes, "Oh, should I say something about Carlos?" And he goes, "Yeah, let me hit record." And she was like, "Wait, you were just asking me to ask me? Like, you were just asking me how I was doing to ask me how I was doing." And he's like, "Yeah." Like, we've seen EJ go above and beyond for Gina, be so sweet. So to see him neglect her because of the play multiple times, time after time, like he keeps doing, again, the campfire in the one scene, then at the audition scene, it's like every single episode he's neglecting her for this play. Conversations about how she doesn't want to be neglected for the play, he explains how he's neglecting her for the play for her, and then he neglects her for the play again. That's not EJ. That's not his character. I don't believe it. Gina's like, "Of course I care about the play, but you're more important to me than the play." And EJ's saying, "I know, I feel the same way. That's why I'm trying so hard for the play, because I want this for you." It's just, I can't. It's hurting my head. It's hurting my head. I don't see this for this character, nor do I think that EJ would act that way in a relationship, considering everything that he went through with Nene and the buildup of how Portwell started and where it is. I keep reiterating, my biggest problem is that we saw a crush develop and then we got thrown into a relationship. We did not see any involvement. We did not see any dates. We did not see any private conversations. Like, everything, even like someone brought up, well, we had the sweet moment of them on the porch. Yeah, it was a sweet moment, sure, but it was right at the beginning of the second episode. I think it was the second, right? Right at the beginning of the second episode, and it was less than a minute or two. So it's just, I don't know, it's just really frustrating. If they had given us an episode or two more of like an actual relationship that was sweet, that I could get on board with, I feel like this whole breaking apart thing would make more sense. But I'm at the point where it just doesn't make sense for the characters for me. I just don't see, after, like, EJ tries so hard to help Gina and to be there for her because he cares about her and he loves her so much. But I feel like he's smart enough to realize at this point that what he is doing is hurting more than it's helping. It's episode 6. We've talked about it enough now. He should see it by now. And as EJ, his character, he should see it. So I don't know. I love the writers, but I think they're screwing up a little bit. Like, as I said, I'm going to say one more time and then I'm going to move on. Even with Ricky, as frustrating as his problems were and his issues were and the choices that he made were in the first 2 seasons, it still made sense for his character, where his character was. His parents were getting divorced. He was losing the first love of his life, who was also his best friend. You know, he had the first big role in the play that he's never been in a play before. There were all these other added stresses on it, and it's not to say that EJ doesn't have those, but I feel like EJ has a better grasp on certain things, so it just doesn't make sense for his character. Moving on. Ricky, at the end of the episode, is talking to Jet. And Jet says, you know, my sister and her girlfriend broke up at this prom. And that's, oh my God, should I even mention that Gina asks EJ to prom for the Shallow Lake prom, and he says he can't because there are no dates for prom. And see, even that, I feel like, could have been dealt with better too, because EJ's just like, oh, can't be your date, sorry. He wouldn't say that. EJ would be like, you know, you're always my number one date. You know, you'll always be my date for everything. Like, he would follow it up with something sweet and romantic. He wouldn't just be like, oh, can't be your date, sorry. So it's just frustrating. Every episode, Gina's upset and disappointed going on. So yeah, so Jet says to Ricky, you know, my sister and her girlfriend broke up at this prom. And Ricky says, you just gave me an idea. I want to make it known that Jay and I were talking over the past 2 days. Again, if you don't know who Jay is, that is my brother. Viewmasters Reactions. He already has his reaction up. Go check it out on his channel. I have been telling him for months, if not years. Watch High School Musical, the musical series. You'll love it. One of the things I was telling him about was the reoccurring theme in this show is that we are left with a huge cliffhanger and usually nothing happens. Or it's not that nothing comes of it, but it's just nothing big that you would think would come from it comes from it. So, Exhibit A, Carlos changing the actors, or changing whatever the parts were. So, typically we have this, like, big, huge reveal at the end of the episode, and then the next episode they're like, yeah, this is what happened. I have a feeling that maybe this is what's gonna happen here. Jet's saying, I feel like it was my fault that they broke up. Maybe Ricky's thinking, well, let's get them back together. And this is, okay, that would make more sense, because we know that we see Jojo Siwa. We think that, or I think, some of you may have even confirmed already, that Jojo is Maddox's ex-girlfriend. And so maybe that's where this is going. Invite Madison, I think was her name. Invite Mad, get her to dance, and then it will make Maddox happy. Whether that actually happens or not is the question, though, because not for nothing, I wouldn't be happy to see any of my exes. So I have a feeling that Maddox is still in love with her, or still likes her at least, so it probably would turn into a good thing. But I feel like at first she's going to be like, oh my gosh, and then it's going to be a good thing. But that's okay. That's my final answer now, because see, it's a misdirect. They always lead you to believe that something, like the way that this sounded, Ricky crying, getting upset, Jet bringing up Gina, bringing up the prom, bringing up a breakup, kind of makes your brain go to, oh my god, Ricky's gonna break up Gina and EJ. And he wouldn't do that. I don't feel like he would do this season 3, Ricky wouldn't do that. So that's my final guess. I think that Ricky is going to help Jet, in return helping Maddox. With that said, Corbin was hysterical. I absolutely loved him in this episode. I really wish that they did the Wildcat cheer. I thought for a second he was going to be like, I don't do that anymore. What team? And get all excited, but he didn't. And so I'm like, kind of disappointed me. My favorite episode out of all of them so far has been the 4th one. Then it was the 5th one. The 4th, 5th, and 6th episodes have all been fantastic for me. The 1st one was really good. The 2nd one and the 3rd one were good, but I didn't think they like blew my mind. The 4th, 5th, and 6th one, they've been on a good streak now. So I have really high hopes for the next one. I'm assuming it's going to be the prom, and then I'm assuming 8 is going to be, because there's only 2 episodes left. I'm assuming 8 is going to be Frozen. My concern, and let me know what you think about this in the comments. Last thing I'm going to say. Do you think it's possible that they're not going to show us Frozen? We got a lot of the songs. We got a lot of the big songs. We really just need Let It Go from Courtney. So is it possible that they're just going to show us like quick little scenes from the finale of the play and then end with Courtney's Let It Go, which is ironically going to be a parallel to her anxiety? Or do you think there's a possibility they already confirmed it, that they're signed on for a 4th season? It's very possible that they have already been filming. Do you think that we're getting a 4th season earlier than expected? Because part of me feels like, because this one was so short and because it was COVID related, so there weren't a lot of characters in it, maybe they are going to end it with maybe like letting us hear Let It Go but not showing us the play or something, and then continue it into season 4 later on this year. That would be amazing. I really feel like, I don't know why, I just feel in my heart, in my musical heart, that we're going to learn that we're getting the season earlier than, like, maybe in the same year, earlier than expected, because I don't know, I just feel it. I just feel like we are. But I don't know, I kind of want to see a decent amount of the play, kind of like what they did with Beauty and the Beast. And I just, for some reason, I feel like we might not get that, and that's making me nervous because I really want it. But is it a lot of talking? I said I wasn't going to, and I said I was going to make this short, and I didn't. I'm sorry. But there you have it. I think I should stop and edit this now because I need to process everything. Overall, I thought it was a really good episode. I am excited to see where it goes. I feel like this promo that's about to come on Sunday is the one that I'm most excited for, because I want to see bits of the prom. I want to see what this idea could be, and I want to see what annoying thing is going to happen with Portwell next. Everyone throw a like if it's like if you do not like what you see, but comment down below, let me know why. Subscribe if you have no way to fun things here, ring the bell so you notified when I upload new videos. Don't forget to check the link down in the description for my Patreon. Follow us on all social media. But that is it. So long, everyone. Try to make someone smile today. You never know when you might need it next. Bye.